Hi, namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear it.
It's okay lah. We'll just pass it.
No, then my voice and your voice will be very different. Just hold it lah. Just hold it when you're talking. Yeah, hi. Sunday, happy Sunday evening. Finally, we keep track on the date, right? Okay, it's Sunday.
Welcome to our Facebook Live.
Yeah, I want to see whether he will talk or not.
Yeah, welcome to our Facebook Live, right? Which is our last day right here in Nepal. Okay, which is basically summarizing our trip here.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Like, finally, can't wait to fly back home tomorrow.
Yeah, so we're going to be sharing our experiences, okay, with basically what's been happening, right, and then also some of the summary and also a conclusion, right, and also overall experiences, right, which we would love to share with you, right, and whatever else that we've already experienced as well.
A lot of bittersweet memory, but more towards sweet memory.
So it is bittersweet or sweet?
It depends. In
Which
every
part
yang,
of it, which one that we are picking up from?
in every yang there is a yin, in every yin there is a yang.
Okay, someone's talking.
All right.
Just like his Americano. It's bitter.
Is
'Cause
black
he just-
or white?
He just sent back the sugar anyway. So it's like, I know it's like quite last minute, it's very impromptu. Oh my god, it's like I still have all the sand in like Kailash on the mic. It's like sticking to it. Okay. All right, so I'm not sure if there's anyone watching or tuning in right now. All right, if you're there, please do say hi and see if you can hear us clearly. All right, those of you who are in our soul's journey through Nepal 2024, like who will be here, okay, in this sacred land again in end of this year in October itself, we are actually at one of our recommended hotel for a pre-nights and post-nights. Okay, so we are actually at this Hotel Lo Mustang right at the center of Tamil here. And this is the first time that I actually, in a way, experienced this hotel itself. And I would say that with the price that we get and everything, it's actually a very nice place lah. Okay, the bed is very comfortable, the place is nice, and it's very, very strategically in a way located. So for those of you who are joining us, okay, at the Soul's Journey Through, okay, Nepal 2024, if you have not decided on your pre-nights or your post-nights, okay, I will highly suggest that you consider about this Lo Mustang Hotel, okay? And Maria Tang is there. Hi, Susim. Okay, hi, Susim. Thank you for being
Maria.
here. Well, you can hear us clearly. That's very good. Sok Yi is there as well. Okay, hi, Jessie Kong Yu Joseph. Okay.
Hi, Sok Yi. Oh, Chang Feng is watching as well.
Oh, is
Hi.
it? It's like, we miss you guys so much, okay? Right, we can't wait to go home, right? Nicole sitting at the back there is like...
Finally.
Yeah, showing her face. All right, so, yeah, of course, today's session itself is to share with everyone our journey. Initiating, okay, this year's Nepal, right, and also in a way grounding energy at Mount Kailash, okay? For the students who are following us to Nepal this year itself, you know, I've already mentioned the purpose of like going to Mutina, okay, is actually very, very related to Mount Kailash itself. That's why we also in a way took the initiative to go on, okay, in Chinese we call Junwan. Junwan means like really like turning around, okay, the cycle of luck itself, okay? It's all started in Kathmandu, Nepal, okay, as the starting point, and we actually traveled all the way up to Mutina. We go to Pokhara, we travel all the way up to Mutina, and then we come back to Pokhara, and then we come back to Kathmandu, and we fly over to Lhasa, and from Lhasa we actually goes down towards the southern part of Lhasa, and we make a turn, okay, all the way towards the west side, okay, of Tibet itself, okay, all the way to Mount Kailash, which is situated at the west of Tibet, and we go further, okay, to the Ngari prefecture, okay, or Ali prefecture, like there is the same area itself, okay, towards the more extreme west side, okay, of Tibet, and then we have to travel back down to the southern side of the, Tibet itself, okay, and we cross border, coming back to Kathmandu, okay. Right, it was yesterday, all right, and then finally bring ourselves back, okay, to this city in Kathmandu itself. And the travel was, I would say, intense.
Yes.
It wasn't easy. All right, it was a lot of like slopes, okay, curved slopes, bumpy, everything, you name it, lacking of oxygen. All right, and then yeah, it's like sometimes it's cold, sometimes it's like freaking hot, sometimes it's freaking cold. So yeah, okay, but we manage.
But before the journey, Jesse and Connie already warned me, how is the journey gonna be and so on. But you just can never be prepared enough for the journey.
Yeah.
The bumpy roads, the weather, the altitude.
Yeah. Okay, so Yi Chang Feng, there's like, hi Nicole too. Okay, we also miss you guys. Can't wait to listen to all your stories. He said, yeah. I mean, I know so far that probably you've been following on our on my Facebook specifically. You see all very magical things, right? And I'm very very, I would say, thankful and grateful that there's a lot of, like, I would say, divine signs and divine interventions throughout the whole entire journey itself, right? The results and the how to say, the taking back. Okay, I would say that it's very, very fulfilling. But the journey itself, it is not, okay, as rosy as it seems to be, right? There's a fair share of like hardship to it. And of course, those of you, Susim, we are here. Okay, who else? Like Agnes, is it? Agnes, is this part
Yes.
of like Nepal? Yeah, okay. So you know that this year itself, you need, I came up with this particular name, okay, for Nepal Soul's Journey through Nepal 2024. The theme is Enlightenment Through Hellfire, okay, and this name came to me after I have this encounter with Inanna, Goddess Inanna in Greece itself, and I also, I will say that I was equally surprised when I got to that name, and I have no clue, no idea what the heck is that. It's like, huh, Enlightenment Through Hellfire, okay, that was, and of course he was like, I think the first thing you asked me was what? You were saying, I thought it's going to be an easy one or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, because you already shared with me and several people and whoever that was in our affinity during that time, that it was going to be a more, how to say, more casual, relaxed trip compared to Egypt.
And honestly,
Yes.
I thought so too.
Yep.
Okay, I was like, how can anything be more taxing and more testing, okay, compared to Egypt? So I thought it's like Nepal, it's going to be enjoyable. But until Greece, until I in a way encounter with that, the photo that I've took, and I somehow relate it to Goddess Inanna, and also thanks to Susim as well, like she knows this Ishtar, Inanna is all related, right? And just right after that, it's like the name just came to me, Enlightenment Through Hellfire Part 1. It means that there will be a part 2, okay? And I seriously don't understand what is this exactly, okay? I thought it's like, is it because of Kali temple here? She's fierce, Vajrayogini, okay? She's very, like, in a way related to me. I thought it's like, it's just because of this fierce, I would say, goddesses energy or fierce Shakti energy, okay, that in a way relates to the hellfire thing. All right, and then somehow, okay, I also have to say that I know that I need to relate this particular soul's journey to Mount Kailash, the grounding of energy. It means that no matter what, before the Mutinak session in October, we need to go to Mount Kailash, okay, and then also in a way utter prayers and blessings and grounding energy for all the participants, okay, of Nepal. That's why we went to the Lake Manasorova, okay. That's when it's like that's where we actually grounded the energy. It started from the lake and all the way to Mount Kailash itself, okay. And yeah, and when I need to do that, and of course I just asked the tour operator to just arrange for me, right? I need to go to Tibet after this first grounding energy in Mutina, okay, this round, and I need to go to Tibet and I need to go to Mount Kailash. The rest of the things you just show me, right? Specific things I told him, these are the places I want to visit, and the rest of the places suggest to me, okay, what other places that I want to see with the I would say the longest historical, I would say how to say, histories. Right, it's not something around Lhasa, okay, or the comfort around Lhasa, okay, where you have all the facilities, right? And then because we have to travel from Lhasa all the way, okay, to Mount Kailash, which, okay, in return, if we are supposed from Mount Kailash to go back to Lhasa itself, it will take us 3 full days of just traveling on the road. That's how far we have gone.
Yeah. So in summary, because Jesse felt that there was a need to somehow ground energy at Mount Kailash, or at least connect the energy of Mount Kailash, which is in Tibet, or rather it is accessible via Tibet, and is a very common spiritual, very, very important spiritual journey to do, for example, like a circumambulation, they call it, right? A Kora around Mount Kailash. some work had to be done there. But in conjunction with that, also, so we might as well explore Tibet, right? Because
Exactly.
Mount Kailash is to the one side.
The west side,
The west side
of Tibet.
Of Tibet. So it just made sense that why not explore Tibet? And then also because we were traveling from Nepal to do the recce for the soul's journey in Nepal per se, which we did the few days prior to when we left for our trip to Tibet. So it also made sense for us to fly obviously we had to fly from Kathmandu. But because of the road journey of the itinerary in Tibet, so we also ended up having to cross borders there between Tibet to Nepal, and then basically take the road transportation back.
Yeah.
So that sort of that was a concluding part of the journey. So
Yeah.
this was our own little adventure, even though the main intent was actually basically to ground and connect energy
Yeah,
at Mount
connect to Mount
Kailash.
Kailash itself. Okay,
Correct.
for all the students for this
Yes.
year, and I do not know. Okay, I wasn't really paying attention so much into itinerary. I just give them the dates right immediate after my 60 jiazi, supposedly right after my 60 jiazi, we fly. And besides the first few days that I need to ground the energy for the Nepal trip all the way up to Mutina. Okay, the rest of the days itself we can spend in Tibet. So I just asked the tour operator. Okay, in a way, these are the places that I need to go and check it out, and then also suggest some of the places that you think it's worthwhile for us to check out. And then it ended up of a very, very intense and packed itinerary.
So that became our own
It's like
our own journey
I do
to the
not,
west.
I do not know. It's like, like Sai Yao Ge. Right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really looking in details, of the whole itinerary itself, until you know me, as in like, before something happened, it's not there yet. Okay, let me figure out my things first, because my heart and soul, everything is about 60 Jata and everything that happened right before the journey. So once we have in a way, started with the journey or somewhere near the journey, the last minute I throw out with the amulets and blessings and rituals. Now, why I have this, I would say, awareness or ideas that comes to me that I want to throw out these rituals and amulets itself, for everyone, so that we can do this ceremony or rituals for you, is because it's unplanned. I just know that I need to know to go to Mount Kailash. And then the flight tickets, he was asking me when, where, whatever, and throughout the whole durations of 15 days itself, right? I didn't look into detail. And of course, after we bought the flight tickets and everything, when I started to look into the details of the whole itinerary, I realized that, on the day that we are in Mount Kailash is exactly the day, as I've mentioned many times, full moon, summer solstice, and also dragon departing day. And I know many of you will in a way think that I have planned that, I didn't. All right, the whole entire, and you know that the way they work in Tibet is, you cannot just change the itinerary as you wish, because every prefecture to another prefecture means every town to another town, or every border between the cities, in Tibet itself, right? They have to, in a way, submit, a list of our tourist group, information, passport, names and everything, and also our itinerary. It means that if you make an appointment of this particular time and date to this particular area, when you cross border, they need to check. It's not that you can swap everything around and change things around that easily itself. So all these things has been planned, by our tour operators, and I've never realized it, until recently, just right before I throw out that, in a way, that rituals or blessings, manifestation services itself, right? I only realized it's the divine intervention is, I told them, it's oh my God, Guan Yin Ma arranged so perfectly that at Mount Kailash, we are actually, in a way, will be there during this full moon, summer solstice, and also the dragon departing day, which is happening on the same date this year itself, amazingly. And I've never planned that. So when I realized this, right, I know that, this is something special that through divine interventions has been arranged for us, as we just needs to go with the flow. And that in a way triggered my idea of since everything is so perfectly aligned, and arranged, that is something that triggered me to, why not I offer this service to help everyone to in a way make prayers and also make manifestations together. All right, because I know that somehow I can sense and I can feel that there is some divine interventions at play, at that moment. So this is how it happened.
Yeah.
All right.
It also started off when we are planning for this trip, right? We are exploring which airline to go and so on. Initially, the plan is always has been Himalayan airline, because when we do Reiki
cheapskates.
and so on, right, we are more on the budget side.
Very budget side.
Yeah. But somehow,
Very budget.
Malaysia Airline was having promotions,
Yeah.
right? And even after they have the promotions also, it's the day that we wanted to schedule to fly, right, is the ticket is more expensive.
Yeah.
Then it pushed it to like 1 day later, if I'm not wrong.
Something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. That somehow to be is
No, I
much
think on the way back or something like
yeah,
that.
it weighs much reasonable. And because of that also, we bought the ticket, then only we share to the tour operator to arrange for the whole itinerary.
Yeah, I know, because supposedly I finished my 60 jiazi. We are not in a way flying immediately the day
Yeah,
after.
2 days later.
Which is like, you know, we have 2 days break, okay, and then we relax, pack our things, right? Just because of the flight ticket somehow, okay?
Yes.
If we fly immediately, okay, like few hours after I finish the whole thing, right, okay, and I pack and everything, and middle of the night go to the airport,
Yep.
the flight ticket is so much cheaper by
Yeah,
Malaysia Airlines. That's why we
correct.
swapped it. Okay, so when we swapped like the time, okay, so the whole itinerary in a way was brought forward. When it was brought forward, right, okay, the dates and everything aligned perfectly.
Yeah.
So I believe that there's a reason for it. Okay, so in a way that's why I throw out these I would say manifestations and blessings rituals, okay, for everyone. And to be very honest with you, okay, when I throw it out, okay, and when I step myself into Tibet, my first question is like, how the heck am I going to, in a way, do it at Mount Kailash?
But
Like,
actually,
seriously.
right, so before we get into the Tibet journey, right, because of course, Jessie, myself, and also Nicole have been in Nepal at least annually this past 2
Yeah.
years. So 2 visits prior to this.
Three.
This is our third
This is the
visit.
third years, yeah.
Right? And of course, Joston, it has not been in Nepal or this part of the world for quite some time. 12 years, was it?
12 years, 12 years.
Okay. So that's why before we get to Tibet,
Yeah.
Tibet is where most of our adventures were. It's our own personal challenges and tests in the effort to ground the energy for sacred journey, Nepal. Right, so and then we ended up basically experiencing Tibet, which is very challenging. We'll go into those details as a test for us, right? The original recce trip. But for Joston, of course, his experience here last 12 years
12
ago.
years ago, yes.
Right, so that's why I think maybe that's a good point to start with, right? So how did you find the first few days, right, on arrival in Nepal, and then also the challenges that you felt even prior to Tibet?
Now, I think the 12 years ago, I was visiting here with my wife and also my in-laws together to visit this place. But it's actually after 12 years, right? There are a lot of things also I don't remember so much. But I do remember that the moment you step out from the airport, once you get out of the airport, the route will be going to be dusty, bumpy, and so on. But this one thing has been changed, meaning to say this time around, once you get out, it's not so bad. It's like proper route already. And I do see some kind of progress in terms of route,
Well,
in terms
until
of the
you go
development. Yes. then until you go to Mutina, you're like back to E. That is like 12 years ago, you know? Like
Yeah.
when you step out from the airplane. That's the key difference that I can see. Other than that, the weather all is still quite similar, and people are still quite similar. No, the people here are more friendly.
They're nicer. Generally, the
Nicer.
people here are very, very
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. But I would say that from my observations of Joseph, because he's doing this as in like soul journey through Nepal 2024, enlightenment through hellfire, part 1, part 2 together.
Yes.
Okay. So what I observe is like part 1, okay, we went up to Mutina, okay, where it is like, it was okay for us, 3 of us, Nicole, Kongyo, and myself. We've been there last year, and last year was super budget trip. So we were staying in, like, I remember in the hotel. Remember we did the chanting and the mantra, okay? Like both of them are rolling eyes at me because I said, let's chant, and then you're at that level, almost 3008.
Yeah, 3008, and at the same time it was our first visit, and it was super cold.
It was really super cold, like few degrees, and our hotel, because of budget, there's no heater, all right? And the windows, because it's not properly sealed, okay? So it's like, what you feel outside is what you feel inside your room. So it's crazy cold.
Yes, and she suggested we chant mantras.
Yeah, that's how they both started rolling eyes at me.
Which we did and recorded.
Yes. I when I say I suggested, no, most of the time it's not me, I mean, you want to talk, you talk to them, okay? All right? But we chanted, luckily, okay? But I know it's like not without some insistence and resistance, okay? But I just want to say that like but for this year, we actually, in a way, check out, of course, the best hotel in Mutina. And it was really good, all right? So for us, 3 of us, is like, wow, it's good, okay, right? Just a bit of pressure, a headache here and there basically it's okay. But for Joseph, I observed that, okay, normally Joseph also won't have much reaction in things, okay? But once you're up in Mutinak, it's like ultimately he blend in together with the mountains. Okay, that's all you see. No reaction, no response much because it's not easy, right? So it was very tough, okay, and it wasn't like very comfortable for him, okay, and he's still healing from his hand and all those things, okay, and of course the pressure and everything is not making it any easier for him, all right. But I would just say is that after the whole ordeal, okay, everything went well, okay, we had a night in Mutinak, and then we come back down and everything, okay, right, yeah. Okay, I personally, I feel that it's not somewhere that he actually enjoys that much.
That's the first time I experienced some kind of altitude sickness.
Yes.
You know, where the pressure is like the probing pressure
Yeah,
on
it's
your
like-
head. It's like poke, poke, poke. You know, that kind of feelings. And then no matter, in a way, you try out different things also, it won't just get away so fast. But luckily enough, from the experienced team, they are sharing me with active fast.
Yes.
So after an hour
works.
or so,
Yeah.
it kind of relief. But I know that during that period also, it's like we are visiting the Mutinak, and we are going to the temple, right? But somehow you don't really enjoy it so much because you have some kind of constant pressure.
Yeah.
But the moment things are getting better, then you start to like experience, wow, it's so amazing. The view here is so fantastic. The mountain view here is so amazing. But when you are not suffering from the altitude sickness, it's like those are things that never mind lah.
Okay.
Just tackle this thing first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to say this is like throughout the whole observations, I see that in a way, just like our first time, okay, the night before, right, we feel it, and then this was his first time and he felt it as well. And then after that, it's like, okay, the whole Nepal thing was done and we fly into Tibet. And once we go into Tibet, we started from Lhasa, and from Lhasa all the way journey throughout the 15 days, half a month, okay, throughout the east of Tibet towards the west of Tibet. And after experiencing those, I will just say is that now, okay, Mutinak is like what? Like
Nothing.
nothing. Okay, Mutinak is like anytime. Bring me back to Mutinak anytime. And I don't think that I will feel, okay, that like, it's like the suffocating or that difficult about it anymore. Okay, because we actually in a way advance to a more hellish part. Let's put it this way.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Now, why I want to, in a way, bring this out is, okay, because I just wanted really like openly to share with all of you. I know like many of you sees the very magical part of things. In fact, there are many magical like divine interventions, okay, right, that which is like, so I would say I'm so thankful for it. It was so fulfilling. But they also have an equal shares of like test and toughness. And I guess basically this is like the purpose of like Soul's journey, especially if you've chosen a title enlightenment through hellfire. I'm sure there's a reason to it. So I just wanted to share in the whole entire Tibet, okay, right, there are moments like remember the Mount Everest base camp that we went to, all right, basically almost throughout the night you will see that my head also has been throbbing. It's like how to say, headaches and other things. Now I refuse to take any high altitude sickness pill. None of us did, okay, right? In a way, at least for the first week or so, I don't think we have any oxygens. I mean, it's an act of the ego, I have to honestly admit it, okay, because it's like I just refrain myself like, no oxygen, no high altitude sickness pill, okay, no way, right? If I like occasionally at night, if I feel the how to say, the headache and everything, I'll just take an active fast and it works, okay. I'll take an active fast, okay, it will reduce the pain, all right, and the next day I'm fine. Okay, most of the time it happens at night when I'm about to sleep. So I want to bring this up in the sense that I have a lot of realizations throughout the whole journey itself. Okay, first of all, it's like my refusal to take oxygen, even though it is easily available. I think a part of me, okay, inside me in a way has been like the ego have taken aside, because to me, as in like taking oxygens feels and sounds like a failure to me. That's my personal experience. I feel that, you know, it is so I don't know why I would think of this word. I'm a woman. I hope I still am. Okay, but I feel it's very unmacho. Okay, if you take an oxygen tank with you, I guess some masculine part of me is acting up. Anyway, but I just want to share. Okay, and I have these realizations. As in, like, I keep on asking myself, I do not want to take medicine. I can understand why, because those are drugs. Those are in a way lab, I would say, manufactured sort of like medications, which might not be natural enough for my body to take it. Okay, active fast is not to say that it's natural, but still, okay, when it's like pain, then occasionally some of the nights I took it. Okay, not every night. All right, but when it comes to oxygen, I keep on asking myself as like, why am I not allowing my body to inhale on this oxygen? And after a few questioning, right, probing and other things, I felt that if besides the ego, I have no, like I would say, probable answer for it. Okay, right? Because it's like a part of me just refused to take it until eventually I felt that I gave in. Okay, and there was one night that it acted up. Okay, I gave in to oxygen already. I was taking the spray and all these things. Okay, all right. And then after that, in Mount Everest, okay, camp. Okay, we actually stayed overnight. There was 5,000 over. Meet, yeah, 5,002, okay, 100 or 5,200 plus meter above sea level. And that was a night, and that was basic camp. We have no toilet. It was freaking cold, all right? And we are in this particular Camp 41, okay? It's like Camp 41, they have rooms to it, but even though you're all wrapped up, you can still feel cold. And then they have bed sheets, which is luckily, okay, the comforter are very thick and it's very heavy, all right? And I remember that night itself, okay, I had a good time during dinner, okay? We have a hot pot there, okay, simple ones, okay? And after we are done with everything, we have to go to toilet. And then going to the toilets feels like hell to me, because you have to again dress up everything and you have to walk all the way out to the toilets in China, which is not the best toilet, okay? You have to experience everyone else's sort of like excretion, okay? Right, let's maybe that, okay? You have to experience and smell everyone else's smells, okay, in the toilet. And I felt like walking to that toilet, going down the stairs and going up the stairs itself felt like hell to me.
Yeah, just to put in a context, so we've been in ground, 4,000 over in Lhasa, and then we went slightly lower, 3,800.
3,000 over in Lhasa.
3,000 over in Lhasa.
Yeah.
Right, and then gradually, of course, as we journeyed out west,
Yeah.
then we started to get higher and higher, right? So by the time we got to Everest Base Camp, it was literally
5,200.
right, which was at
there.
the peak of where we did our
At
rituals.
that time, yeah.
And so on. So this is how high above sea level we were, and all of us were having that experience of high altitude, reacting differently to it. But even I felt that the pressure, right, or the thinness of the air. Like, I remember Jessie was mentioning the dinner that we had right before we went to sleep. So it was a very, very simple but delicious vegetable hot pot. Right? And I remember like, oh, this is so nice, this is so enjoyable. And then as I was eating it, I ate a little bit of it, and it was like, hey, how come, then your body starts to want to digest the food, right? And then you start to feel, right, the effects of the high altitude. So it started getting headaches here, it had been on and off, right, ever since we arrived at base camp. But because there was like a beautiful view of the sunset and all that, so that sort of like was cold and challenging. We also did a short live from there.
Yeah.
But it's just like that. You're so looking forward to doing something, but once you actually do it, then you realize that there's so much more oxygen that you require, and then when your body doesn't have enough of it, it'll start to show symptoms like headaches and so on. So and Jessie was just talking. You can continue back here.
Yeah.
About when we have to go to the toilet outside.
Yeah, and going to the toilet, that part was like very, very difficult for me. It's like, firstly, I have to like, in a way, like wrap everything back up in, and then we have to go to the toilet. And as I say, toilet is up the stairs and down the stairs, okay?
Downstairs.
Yeah, and then when you go to the toilet, it's basically you already couldn't really breathe well, and automatically your body will also try to not breathe, because it's there's
common.
It's quite a lot of like
potty
natural
style.
Yeah,
It's all building up.
Yeah, collections of smells there. Okay, and after the toilet, I felt like, oh my god, I felt like almost dying. Okay, right, and you have to walk back to the tent, and then when I walk back to the tent, okay, and immediately we just go to sleep. All right, even though I have my oxygen tank there, and immediately I was like putting in my oxygen tank. After the whole ordeal, I put my oxygen tank, okay, and they have the tube that put into your nose, okay, and I thought it's like, oh, okay, I'm taking oxygen, it's fine, okay. So I thought it was like sleeping, and of course, like everyone tries to sleep, and then some of them might have fallen asleep, and it was in the middle of the night, okay, probably it's like 1 something, my second, close to 2, right, okay, and I have difficulty breathing. Right, I was like, and I've experienced this before. So I do have, in a way, occasionally, okay, I have panic attack, okay, but that night itself, I know that somehow I felt hyperventilated, okay. So it's like, in a way, it's like panic attack, lah, okay. I felt that it's like hyperventilated, okay. So I felt very, I would say, anxious, okay, I kanchiang and all that, okay, and then I started, it's like, I'm not sure whether Poching is like watching this, okay, I started taking out like my airsick bag, you know, like those McDonald paper bag and all that from the airplane, okay, I took out the airsick bag and I started blowing to regulate my breathing, okay, immediately into it, right, and then of course it felt better, but immediately I have to wake him up, I have to wake everyone up, and I have to tell everyone, okay, find me a car, take me back down to lower ground, all right, because I knew that, because in a way I felt like very anxious, very panicky already at that moment. So immediately we call, and then of course the facilities and everything is very good. Okay?
Yeah.
Immediately they are like, of course, paramedics there,
Yes.
the ambulance is there. And the thing is, because it's like, I was telling Nicole, it's like, we should have like taken photo and videos. Okay? All right, we are to share with everyone. So, and then actually by the time I get into the ambulance, like usual, normally this like just like episodes of like very short episodes where I feel hyperventilated, as in like I grasp oxygen too fast. All right, and then once I regulate it, it already felt better, but I still feel that it will be better for me to just get to lower ground, okay, where I feel in a way safer in a sense, okay. So yeah, we got onto the ambulance, we go down, it's like that lower ground also not that lower, it's like still 4,000 over in the
4,000.
village,
It's
okay,
4,000.
at the foothill, near foothill of it, okay, it's 4,000 over. And when I get into the hotel, okay, at the foothill there, things become so much better. Okay, and I learned how to like in a way manage my own breathing, doing some breathing exercise, and of course like that's where Jolson also in a way lead me and us all get into some like breathing exercises and all that, and immediately it actually felt better.
Yeah, I want just to also take this time to share a bit of the tips. Whenever in real life, right, every now and then there could be possibility of us encounter some kind of a panic attack from someone else, right? First thing that's very important is that we ourselves, right, the opposite side of the other persons, right, we have to show the side of us that we are also very calm, that we are in control, and we shouldn't show that, oh, I'm also very panicked when I see you so panicked, you know. So you need to do that kind of assurance to the other party that I'm in on control, no worry, I can take care of everything. Because you know that when someone is experiencing a panic attack, in a way that they are in this fight or flight mode. So when they are in this fight or flight mode, they will be grasping for air, and they will start thinking a lot, you know, what happened, what is gonna happen next, you know, how am I gonna go through this and all. So you have to bring them into calmness. That's why that Jessie was, you know, holding on into the bag, right, breathing through the paper bag itself. So that itself really helped to like a good actions of breathing gently, calmly onto the bag itself. And besides that, you bring this person to calmness in terms of breathing, and at the same time also you bring this person into rest and relax mode, and that's where you talk about something in the future. Say for instance, like for us, we are only midway into the journey itself, right? But
That was only midway, you know.
correct.
Was it 2/3?
I think midway only.
Maybe
but-
60%.
Correct.
60.
But I was telling her to start focusing about, we're going to land into Kathmandu already. In fact, we already booked some kind of spa sessions, massage sessions in Kathmandu. So already bring her into that, the concept of now we are thinking forward. We have already gone through this episode and so on. So the tips here is all about bringing one into calmness, showing the other person that you don't need to be anxious or worry so much about it, and at the same time bringing this person into a future moment that she can relate to, so that she won't be stuck into that moment, keep on thinking about, oh, what's gonna happen, am I gonna cannot breathe so much anymore, and so on. So these are just a few tips that I want to share, that whenever you come into an encounter of panic attack.
Yeah, and I wanted to share this out as in like, because I mean, I do not want everyone to have an idea as in like, wow, okay, it's like, wow, is everything is like so magical, so beautiful, it's like so good, right? It's a soul's journey after all, and soul's journeys are supposed to be a journey where we have realizations, we have like in a way awareness, we have like that aha moment, okay, and in a way it triggers me in my aha moment, and I know that during even panic attack, right, you know, I'm still a control freak in some ways, okay, all right. So I think it was Nico or whoever was telling me, it's like, don't worry, okay, we will handle this. I still have to ask, it's like, have you taken that? Have you packed this? Have you packed that? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot of like.
She's supposed to relax while she's having a panic attack, but she can't.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I really relax when I blow through the paper bag. Okay. All right. Once I'm done, and I will be like, okay, make sure you do this, and make sure you do that.
Even in the ambulance, she's like, you know, why don't you sit there? You're gonna get dizzy.
Yes.
Yeah, things like that. Okay, go
No,
on.
I was
Because
saying that-
I was okay already in the ambulance, okay?
No,
Yeah.
no. Even in the ambulance, right? Our guide, Pasang,
Pasang?
yeah, he was like a staunch Buddhist,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So during the journey down to 4,000 level, he was like keep on reading out mantra,
Chanting, yeah, he
and
was
so on,
chanting,
right?
yeah,
But
he's
but the
very
thing
sweet
is
guy.
that the way of him chanting is very fast, right? It's like
it's like very fast paced. You know the Tibetan way. They
Yeah.
do almost like the throat thing and everything. It's like very fast. It's like keep chanting, keep chanting,
yeah.
keep
If
chanting.
it's something, oh no, you know that kind of stuff is
I
not.
think actually chanting Om Tari to Tari to Tari. It's
Yeah.
like very
But-
very
What's
fastly.
he doing, Green Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it could have been a longer sadhana, they call it.
Yeah.
So again, we're talking about we should bring ones into rest and relax mode. So
I think
that's
I
why-
remember Nico was chanting also.
Yes.
Nico was also chanting, and actually I was feeling much better. I was okay in the ambulance already, right? But the thing is, I thought, okay, I want to go to a proper hotel room rather than the tent up there. And I imagine I need to go toilet. I have to go through the ordeal again, right? So I thought, saying, okay, let's check into a hotel, okay? And after that, I remember it's like the control freak in me. I have to tell them, don't chant. Okay, and I'll tell them, no, don't chant, okay? Because it's so fast.
Yeah.
It makes my heart is like really pumping according to its rhythm, okay? That's not very good for panic attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, seriously, I mean, just to extend on what you were saying, we all had a challenging time, right? In different ways at different points in time. But that was definitely one main one because we had gone so high up.
But I realize all the
Yep.
challenging things is in the mind. It's not a real challenge in the sense that seriously, it felt like almost like a life and death situations, but it's actually not.
Correct.
It's not.
Right.
Right? It's just I want to share this, like it's just a platform, a ground, a moment that it brings out a lot of realizations. Okay? A lot of things that we have to think, okay, and we have to realize. And I was telling Josen immediately, I realized that no matter how we say that we are prepared, letting go this lifetime, you know, the souls have many, many lifetimes and all that. I was telling them, it's like, wow, I realized that when it comes to crucial moments like this, I still have a lot of fear of death. Okay? And it's very real. And it's like immediately I told him, now, the next homework that I need to work on is, of course, death meditation. Right? I mean, that's how we realize, and I feel that the whole journey itself is very, very amazing in the sense that it makes me realize a lot of things. All right? And yeah, it also in a way makes me realize of like how much shitty things I've been taking into my body, and how much I'm really like, I always tell them, it's like I couldn't find a valid sort of like reason to really like, how to say like take care of my diet or my body in a non-selfish way. Seriously, I mean, we've discussed about this all the time, okay? And I keep on looking for like a reason for me to do it. I mean, a reason for me to like, let's say, I know when they say it's like, oh, when you have like a fitter body, you'll be fitter, you live longer. And you know me being me, right? I'm stubborn in my own way, right? Okay, I would just say that it's like, if I have this belief, does it mean that I do not believe in the divine, that they, in a way, manage everything for me? I mean, if my work here or my services here, okay, in a way, I still have a mission to be done, okay? Right, I know that whatever it takes, okay, the divine will do whatever magical power it can do to ensure that I serve this mission, okay? I just have to trust and have faith, right? So you know lah, my friend over here, he will keep on telling me, it's like, no, like, wow, why don't you like, way do like this, or why don't you do like this? But I cannot find a reason until this trip, like seriously. And this trip itself, I found a reason, not just because of like, in a way, it's like the afraid of dying. But I found the reason, even though Tibet, I just want to say that it's really an enlightenment through hellfire. It wasn't easy, it was tough, it was challenging, but it was so fulfilling. It was really, really fulfilling. The things and the energy, the divine interventions, the energy especially that you're experiencing there, okay, it's not an energy that you can experience it elsewhere. It's very different, even very different from Egypt. Egypt is always like, in a way, always the energy is like bringing me back to the past, to understanding, the empowerment, the realization of internal thing. But here in Tibet itself is very different. It's like, almost like, how to say, really instant manifestations. What was it already you were mentioning? And then after that, it's like, that day we came back and then we were saying that, okay, they wanted Korean dinner.
Yeah.
And then somehow it's like our tour operators is so nice. They included dinner for us in the hotel.
Yeah.
So we have to eat in the hotel. And then guess what? We have kimchi. The
Yeah.
hotel serves kimchi. So it's like I see a lot of like instant manifestations. You say certain things, it manifested out. Okay, almost immediately.
Yeah, there was a lot of occasions in the early part of the trip before it got really tough with the altitude
Yeah.
and all that. It was the same feeling, where but personally I felt very welcome in Tibet. It was a very, very blissful, lovely feeling, despite the high altitude, the challenges got worse as we moved on the trip. But I remember, like when I would just sort of, because for me, for example, I realized that coffee is potentially a semi-attachment, and I'm quite conscious of it. So I also know that I don't need it, but if I had it, and if I had coffee around me, they would be good. If I didn't have it around me, I know that's an attachment test, right? So I was just very casual about it. And of course, I also had my own sachets with us, which I sometimes would make, sometimes we couldn't because of the schedule and timing and things like that. I remember it's just simple things like, this is there was one time we were outside of Lhasa, or I think it was the last couple of days in Lhasa, and we had visited a monastery. And then it was like, oh, it'd be nice if suddenly there was like a coffee place around the corner. And then these were just very simple shops that I first saw. Then I'm like, okay, don't be so attached to coffee, right? Just let it go. And then lo and behold, when we exited the compound, there was a better, more developed row of shops that are somewhat commercial, right, compared to the monastery shops, which is very simple and basic, right? And right outside the monastery, there was one row, and then true enough, there was like a Lhasa Java coffee there, right?
Something like that. Lah.
And this was all in my mind. I didn't share it with them because I thought, instead of just keeping thinking about having coffee in the morning, just forget it, because don't let it be an attachment, right? And I just let it go. But once we exited the compound, there it was.
Yeah, and also I would say that the
small
power
things like
of
that.
manifestations here are really, really superb.
Correct.
It's just amazing. It's like how you think of something and then it's just like it will just happen. Okay, right? But of course, it comes with a fair share of like tests and lessons and realizations.
And that's why
as well.
sometimes the way it plays out, a lot of times will be in simple things.
Yeah.
In simple things, because it is in simple things that we are more carefree about, right? Which we can just go like, oh, it's all right. It's actually deep down inside you realize that's not that important.
Yeah, I mean, remember in like Ramoshe Temple, when we went there, it's like a big sign showing that it's off, it's closed on the day.
Yes.
And we were like, we were all the way here and it's closed. All right. And then after that, it's like the guy was like talking to the monk.
The monk who
the
was
one who's also the ticket seller.
Security guard,
security guard
etc., etc. Yeah.
And
we just looked.
Yeah.
And
he just... I think something is okay, and then the guy was like, oh, okay, we can just have a look. We go inside. And we were walking there. This whole big door was closed itself, right? From the inside, there's a small little boy. Somehow he opened the big door. Not the small door that's attached to a big door. It's the whole entire big door. He opened one side. And I don't think he knows that we're walking in. He just opened it. Okay, and then we're just walking swiftly, okay, and then after that, he tried to close it, and he closed it for the longest time because he's not tall enough to close it. I don't know how he managed to open it in the first place, okay? So, it's moments like this, okay, where I see it's like there are a lot of like magical moments, let's put it that way, all right? But what I want to say is, of course, at the end of the day, okay, I realized that just now, coming back to my realizations, I couldn't really find a unselfish way if you have to, I always attest the thing is like, you don't have to always like worry, like in Chinese we call gang say, or I don't want to eat this, I don't want to eat this, or sometimes you see is like some people just go into a very paranoid, okay, position where I need to take this supplements, this vitamin, this thing, not eating this, whatever, okay. But eventually it's like, if we have that, it's also part of fear. And me, it's like I just stubbornly, in a way, want to just accept myself as who I am. If I feel something, I really love something, I will eat it. Okay? And it's like those who know me well, I love muttons and lamb, right? Ever since I make a vow that I cannot eat beef, lamb is my substitute of beef. Okay? So, I love it. I really love it so much. Okay? And Nicole knows that. Everyone knows. Okay? But I just do not know why. When I was in Tibet, all right, and before the whole entire incident or whatever, it's like I just felt like I have this feeling in me. It's very calm and it's very gentle, and it just says that, oh, I'm going to stop eating muttons. Okay, I just don't feel the needs of like eating muttons anymore, and it comes very naturally. You ask me why, I do not know. Okay, and it's a big commitment to me. Okay, you know, it's like food is how important to me, but it's just like, oh, okay, I just don't need this anymore, and I feel that it's a total surrender, that I'm ready to just give up on that, and I have a realizations now that if I is to take care of my body. Okay, my reason is I'm not really taking care of it just because of myself. I think that I found a reason that I want to take care of it so that I can actually, in a way, like bring my students, or in a way channel my body, okay, right, in a way towards, okay, my students or people who are connected to me. All right, because no matter how I realize that, yep, Tibet is quite challenging, okay, because of people with high ego like me refuse to take medicine and refuse to take oxygen, okay. But to me, I realize that if you are in a way probably taking oxygen, and we ask around people, okay, who actually take medications or whatsoever, right, okay, it is in a way they can enjoy the whole entire trip with not so much of, like, in a way, disturbance, okay, to their physical body itself, okay. And then for me, it's like I realize that I need to, in a way, start taking care, okay, of my physical body. Is not so much of myself, but also in a way how much I can do back, okay, to the students who are connected to me, okay. And as I mentioned, it's like no matter how tough Tibet is, I think that eventually, very soon, okay, the soul's journey will continue to part 2, enlightenment through hellfire. And sometimes I was like, as I'm talking about this, honestly disclosing this, right, a part of me behind my head, right, was thinking, is like, damn it, Jessie, you say about all these difficult things, right? You are just pushing people away. As in, like, everyone, who else is watching here? Like, you see, Susim is there, Sao Chu is there, Henley Sitan is there, Lee Ann is there, okay, Katie Go, George Sham, like everyone is like, Melissa Lim is there, Maria Tang, Katie Go, Brian Fu was there. So it's like, hey, all these are the soul journey students, you know. When I say like this, right, the chances is like, if even Tibet is part of your wish list, the chances is you will cross it out, right? You might not follow us, okay, in the upcoming whatever soul journey, okay, for part 2. But I really want to say it's like, it is so magical that some of the temples that we walk in, okay, that some of the chambers itself, right, it almost brings tears to me. The energy was so great, and it was like really so intense in that sense.
Yeah, I
Right?
mean, when even Jessie's sharings about her giving up on muttons, right? To me, I mean, from the side view, I was looking at it, wow, what a big surprise. You know,
Surprise.
seriously, it's really big surprise because I eat a lot with her. So every time we go out to eat, I think mutton is like a must-have in our order.
Including in Nepal before Tibet.
Yeah, that's why.
I think, was it in Tibet also, right? We
Tibet, the
ordered-
first, yeah, the first, yeah, Tibet.
But somehow, right,
First couple of days.
after the surprise and all, right, I just find it like, it became something that's so natural. Even though first thing, my takeaway is like, wow, quite surprising. But somehow when I look at it, the meaning behind it and why you're doing it also, then I just feel, wow, you know, it's just the right thing to do.
I mean, I
Like,
don't
it's
know.
so natural in a way.
It is very natural
Yeah.
because, you know, I mean, people who knows me well. I cannot be pushed, or I cannot be nagged onto doing something. Like, you cannot tell me what you should do, what you cannot do. And it won't work for me, man. But I'm equally surprised that it's like, wow, that's a big wow. It's like, why? Well, why am I actually committing myself to this? Right? But it comes very naturally. It comes very, like, how to say, comfortably, right? Right? And yeah. So Sim is so encouraging. No, we will go with you. Yeah, but I seriously think, okay, I mean, yeah, like, you know lah, Susim, okay, and I of Lian, all that. I do have this like small group of like soul journey students, and I always say that these are like my tai tai ji, okay, like the highest tier, okay, and I always see the potential in them. It's not going to be easy, I would say, but it is your future self, your future soul's lifetimes will definitely thank you for it.
Yes.
Because
Totally
this
agree.
is not the normal like Lhasa Tibet, Potala Palace sort of like tour, okay? Because we are touring into like, in a way, places or sacred places where even before Buddhism are discovered, okay, way before, okay, like where people actually in a way started off like praying like nature, heaven and earth and all these things, right? Okay, right, this place has been sacred to them all the way up to this particular moment itself, okay. And after experiencing it itself, I felt that like it's a totally different energy. Okay, is totally different thing, I would say. Right? I just want to like openly confess it and show all my students, because you've been following me, and I was telling them I don't want you to follow me on just the good stuff. Not the magical stuff, or the magical, like the butterfly I caught in the photo. It was so amazing. So far I've not seen any other butterfly in Tibet. Only that one. No other butterfly. Honestly, you want to see flowers also, like most part when we are near Kailash there's no flowers once you see. There's no trees, no plant, not so much, okay? Right? And then these are like in the middle of the highway where it's like deserty, it's dry and it's like windy. And then suddenly in the photo itself, right, it's like, how come one black dot over there, and then you zoom in, right? It's a butterfly. So to me, it's like this is something like very amazing, I would say. The divine are trying to communicate with us. They're trying to, in a way, how to say, give us signs, okay, right? And like, of course, like messages as well. We just need to trust, okay, to see it. But besides this, I say that, okay, this wrap up, okay, of the whole entire journey itself is a must, where I must personally share with you, okay, besides the yin, or besides the yang, there's a yin, right, to it. Besides all the magical stuff, there's also a lot of learnings, a lot of realizations, a lot of like enlightening moment. Okay, like, okay, I would like to like put it that way as well. But the amazing thing is, like, you see, when we go up to Mount Kailash, the south face there, right, at the monastery there, it was almost about 5,000 meters as well.
Just, yeah.
And
it's
I
about
still
5,000.
couldn't believe as like how I actually did it. Like seriously, we will sit there 2 hours cross-legged, okay? Right? I basically you don't have like, in a way, like room to move much, okay? And like chanting throughout. They were like chanting throughout, and I was like basically reading all the wishes, blessings, but it was, I actually read it very loudly as well, right? I felt so energetic, totally. In a way, a part of me had forgotten what is like high altitude, what is no oxygen. It just comes naturally. And at that moment, I felt so blessed, in the sense that I feel there is some energy supporting us and supporting me to do the things that we are doing. Okay, and it was such an amazing thing, and I don't feel cold at all. So windy, the wind was blowing non-stop, and then of course it's like only a few degrees below 10 degrees, right? It was so cold. All right, and there was one moment that when we chant, okay, towards the middle part of the moment itself, right, besides the birds comes to just right in front of us, chirping in like blessings, the amulets, and then after that make one cross across and then fly away, right? There are moments where you see the sky opens up as well, okay, where the sun in a way comes shining directly down, and that moment was like very, very amazing.
Actually, when we are there, right, I feel that we are like really energetic, and you don't really feel like you are actually at a 5,000 meter height. You just feel like you are like a normal height level. So you didn't grab for air. You just keep on chanting. You just keep on doing everything.
Back to the Everest Base Camp.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
Which is about the same height.
And the funny thing that you just mentioned, about is like the wind is blowing cold and so on, right? You just feel so protected. It's nothing, But the moment when it ends, right, suddenly, right, I got running nose, right after that only. Then running nose, you start to feel cold. It's like everything like that.
I just remember
normal.
once we finished the 2 hours, thankfully to our guide, they're very, very good. They come over to help us to pack up and everything, right? Okay, they waited for us up there, all right, for 2 hours. And then I stand up, I was like, I have difficulty standing up. I was like, what? I was like, because when I was sitting there, I couldn't feel my body. And then I couldn't feel my leg, I couldn't feel my body. It was like so natural flowing and everything. And then when I tried to stand up, I was like, oh my God, fuck. Okay, my leg is like, 抽到筋啦. Alright, I was like, yeah. Then, okay, I slowly, in a way, adjust back to it. It was okay. And then once we take everything and I want to walk back to the car, right? Because there's a distance to walk back to the car itself, right? It felt so cold. Before that, I think you asked me, it's like, oh, you want to warm the finger, everything. I was like, how, what warm finger? I'm not cold.
Because we were not wearing gloves.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't even feel cold at all. But once I walk back, like everything goes back, okay, carry the things and walk back to the car, I realized it was so freaking cold. Cold until it's like my hand was like really like trembling, like shaking, okay?
Running nose.
Yeah, it was very, very cold, right? So, I mean, these are the things I can only share with you. I know maybe some of you will be like, 係咪真㗎? But it's really what we have experienced. It's really true. And the landform and the formations is like how the feng shui, okay, in a way, like some of the, like how many monasteries that we have visited? Like
double digit.
Double digit, yeah.
Double
Yeah,
digit.
definitely.
Lower double digit.
There's
Lower,
a
yeah.
lot of like monasteries non-stop. Every day you go to a few monasteries. Every day you go to a few monasteries because you see, we need to jam pack the whole itinerary in order for us to filter out where are the places with the formations, with the feng shui formations, the meridian spot, which are the ones worthwhile visiting and which are the ones it's just like you got money, you go and build a building there and become a monastery. It's like, nowadays like we have a lot of educate. Monastery is just basically an educational hub. All right, it's just like a college or university, right, to their culture. All right, so it's like eventually it's like once you have money, you can buy a land and you can just build. Okay, right. But if you look at the feng shui formations, like a lot of all these locations itself, right, it doesn't harness the nature's energy. All right, if you have a monastery there, it's like, so what? Okay, it doesn't have that energy. Okay, but we have to see enough of all these monasteries itself, probably to filter out just a small handful of monasteries that's so worthwhile to just visit, okay, to just in a way tap into the energy there, okay. And in order for us to do this, I was like, oh my god, every day was like, what's next? Monastery. Like, where we go next? Monastery. It's like, seriously, I don't think I've ever seen so many monasteries in my life.
And I never
Ever.
pray so much in my life.
Yes.
In a 2-week period, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very magical, right? How everything unfolded, because like I said, the main reason was because we needed to ground energy or connect to Mount Kailash,
Yeah.
and hence that's how the Tibet itinerary came about.
Yes.
But with it, there were so many wonderful, challenging, enlightening, educational,
Yeah.
testing
It was,
experiences.
I was very, very thankful
That's
for
right.
it. Okay, because basically the whole itinerary, everything, we don't really like plan it that much.
Yeah.
We just go with the flow,
Yep.
and there is really, really a lot of enlightening moments. Like,
Correct.
I would say challenging, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, but all these challenges itself give me a very deep aha moment, a very deep realizations, okay, of the things that I need to, in a way, look within myself, okay, to, in a way, furthermore, it's like prepare myself, furthermore, make breakthroughs and stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
Right? So I just want to have this Facebook Live, okay, to sum up everything, our experience, to share with you. All right, whatever that we have experienced, we are connected. Okay, so with the intentions and the connections that we have, okay, whatever that we have encountered, the signs, the divine interventions, the messages that we have gotten, is relating to you as well, right? I like Susie was telling me also, in a way, somehow she spotted. She actually told me that was it today or something, like she actually see quite a lot of butterflies. Yeah, okay. So always remember, there's a reason that we are connected here, right? And this reason is like, in a way, when we are connected energetically as a circle, right? Whatever we experience, you will have that connection. It's just like ripples of the water.
That's right.
All right,
Yeah.
because of our connections here, okay, whatever that we experience, whatever blessings or good or bad or whatever realizations that we go through, it will ripples effect towards you energetically, that you might have that impact on you as well. So I wanted to take a moment to share these things, okay, not only on the good stuff, but also on the realizations, the thinking, the fear, okay, that I personally have within me, okay, the things that I need to work on, and the things that I need to also, in a way, have the awareness, okay, to realize it so that I can change it, okay. It will also, in a way, resonates with you. All right, so I just want to take this particular moment, okay, to share with you, so that you can also go deeply and reflect in your life itself, as in like, what are the things, okay, that you might want to release and morph yourself out of it, just like a butterfly, okay, so that you can, in a way, tutoya, okay, means like rebirth yourself, okay, and like come out or renewed or transform, okay, into something new. And I guess that especially now that we are moving nearer and nearer to 2026, which is Peng Wu, the ultimate peak of transformation, okay, that's going on, right? We just do more of all these energy works and like I would say like inner work itself to prepare ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, I mean, for like maybe like Susim and Leanne, okay, for those of you who knows how it's functions, especially Susima, because she's been to Jordan with us, right? One thing I was just, this morning only, I was just telling Gong Yu, okay, I realized nowadays is I thought when something end, I thought it's going to end, right? But this is the second experience. Remember Jordan? Okay, after Jordan, we went back to Saqqara, okay, and I thought it's yay, part 1, part 2, done, okay, and it's like yay, all right, Fong Gong, something like that, right? And when I look down into the Saqqara pyramid itself, it's like a to be continued sort of thing. It's like a teaser, like something is calling me. This is something that you need to do and plan in the very near future, because a private session in the Saqqara Pyramid is a must. So that was like the ending of the Jordan trip. And I thought today is the last day here, okay, we're in Nepal, and this early morning somehow, okay, I have the best sleep ever last night. And this early morning, I just woke up early in the morning and I was like, really, somehow things just comes to me, you know. And I already have like a new mission.
And she's not talking about Tibet, by the way.
Yes, and it's not
Talking
Tibet.
about Nepal this year, Tibet.
Yeah.
We'll
The
see
sequel, I
how-
don't know, it's like this one sequel. Susim. It's like, seriously, I was like,
This is the two-part sequel
it's
after.
like totally
after Nepal, okay.
I don't think I have so much clarity before, right? And then suddenly this morning, right, when I woke up, and all the clarity just come, and I have a mission to do.
It's a future. It's a very
related to
upcoming
2026, yeah. Okay.
mission, which I was in my head. I was like, oh, I don't know whether I want to commit my time towards the first round of exploring this particular area in the world, right? But then when she mentioned it like that, I was like, wow, okay, that makes sense, right? It makes sense
It's
for
like-
me to release my energy and go explore it with her, which was the plan. But of course, I have my own thoughts and thinking. So when she highlighted it today, I said, yeah, that
It's
makes lots of
crazy
sense.
when all this information just come just this morning itself, right? Where we are about to just start like final day here in Nepal, and tomorrow we are going home.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's just like, hey, you got somewhere up there is like, hey, come song you got work to do, you
I
know?
was like, oh, maybe I should stay home and do other things. But it was very clear when she mentioned it. I was like, I didn't even need to openly tell them, because I had not openly shared whether I should commit myself to going or not. But when she mentioned like that, I'm like, obviously it makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So that is to be continued.
Yes.
But in the meantime, okay, maybe we should also Soul's Journey Nepal 2024,
Yes.
right, which was the main anchor of this particular trip. So
Yeah.
I know we shared a lot of ups, as you have seen in the various postings, and especially the ones on Jesse's page. And then now, of course, we're opening up about the lows, the challenges, right, about the ego tests. We didn't really speak about that, but of course that goes on.
Christy Lam, looking forward to a blockbuster lineup akan datang.
But those of you who have committed to Soul's Journey in Nepal 2024, be open, right, about these experiences
Be very
that we're
open,
sharing, because
okay,
it can,
because, yeah.
it will relate to you, and it will trigger each of you individually. So don't have a presumption. Like for example, Jocelyn's experience with altitude, right? For Mutina and all that.
Mutina, where is it? There? Huh?
So remember, be open. Do not and see where that goes, because it might trigger your fears about altitude. It might trigger your fears
Yes.
about whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
But stay open. Don't let it. Don't have any preoccupation about what's going to happen in your journey, because it's different for every single one.
And I want to say that we are ready for you. Okay, it's like we realize that it's like, I always tell him, it's like every time we go through the soul journey, okay, when we go with the students, it's all 5 stars. Right? Okay, as best as possibly we can arrange. Even in Mutina also, we'll arrange the best, okay, accommodation for you. But when we go for our Reiki trip, it's always the no star. That's the sad thing, And of
Unrated,
course,
actually.
Yeah, and actually, of course, when he actually mentioned to me, as in like, we won't. I would not agree that we do not afford or cannot afford a 5-star. We can, but it's just that I don't see a reason why I should go on a Reiki trip on all 5-star accounts, because at the end of the day, right, these expenses will be tapped onto all the students as well. All right, and to me, it's a soul's journey. And honestly, it's like the good thing is about Tibet is okay, we are actually proposing an itinerary where at the end of the journey, you just have to take a flight back all the way to Lhasa where it started. And that's easy. And for us, we have to take 3 days from, in a way, but of course we expedite it. We expedite it into 2 days, means that every day we have to take that. Yesterday we took like what? More than 13 hours, right? 6 a.m. and we arrive here about like 6. But it's Kathmandu time.
I calculated
It's supposed
12 hours.
Yeah, more than that.
Oh yeah, because of the time
Because
difference.
of the time difference.
Yes.
So at least 14 hours non-stop on the road, bumping, okay, all the way back here. All right, instead of wasting 2 days, all right, we just push everything up into just 1 day itself, right? Because overall it needs 3 days to get back to the origins. Even from like in a way Mount Kailash all the way, if you want to go back to Lhasa itself, it is 3 days, right? with no sightseeing, 3 days. Every day is just journey. So to me, it's like, if the students eventually, those of you who are connected, who resonates to Tibet, is part of your wish list, who knows, okay, right? One thing is like, you just have to just fly all the way back to the origin place, okay? Right, and just the same time as Mutina, when we had it last year, is we have to travel by the road from Kathmandu to Pokhara, which is another 8 hours, okay? And then from Pokhara to Mutina, another 8-9 hours, okay? Right, all this is like no shortcut, okay? But this year, the students, you are lucky because you fly from Kathmandu to Pokhara. That is like the shortest flight in our life, right?
About 30 minutes.
25 minutes.
25 minutes,
Oh,
okay? You
that's
take
big.
off, 25 minutes, and you land.
So that's
right,
a-
and
that's a
it
very-
saves you, it saves you 8 hours of bumpy ride.
It's a good experience. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just want to echo on Kong Yu's, mentions about, just surrender to the process. Look, going through with the journey itself. Earlier on in the conversations, I talk about I going through the altitude sickness at Mutina in the beginning of the journey itself. But eventually, throughout the Tibet trip, right, which is about 15 days, right, I started to do a lot more work on my own. Like I'm doing a lot more breath work, meditations, Reiki healings, energies, and so on. So at the end of the day, now that I can say it, that after the end of the whole trip, right, I actually do not suffer from any serious altitude sickness. Okay, not as much as my experience in Mutina in the beginning stage. So from that experience, right, I'm telling myself, I want to overcome this. I want to do something on my own, practicing something that I believe that it can help. So
It means that
eventually-
those of you going to Nepal this year, right, you have work to do. Because we have planned this for you, okay? We need to experience all these things, and we have to see what else we can give to all of you additionally to prepare you for the things.
That's right.
All right. So you paid so much for the trip. You come here, you don't expect yourself to just relax in the hotel room and just sleep, right? Whatever that we can get hold of you energetically to work together, okay, energetically, either meditations or sound or whatever it is, right? We will maximize your time. So those of you who are coming, okay, to Nepal, okay, you be prepared that you might not have enough rest throughout the whole journey, okay, right? Because we will work with you throughout. And those of you who joined the soul journey before this, that's the way that we work, okay? So yeah. And I would just want to say that, okay, I personally am very, very excited, okay, for October. I'm very excited. I will say that everything becomes so much clearer, right? So clear now, okay, and yeah, okay, and we will, in a way, do our best to facilitate this journey, okay, with all of you. We still have people signing up for
Yes.
Nepal. I think last week, okay, I think another 2 or 3 people, 2%, right?
2%.
Okay, 2% signed up for the trip itself just last week. So I would just say is that if you have any friends, okay, if you have anyone who are interested on this journey itself, okay, do in a way drop us a line, do let us know, all right, and then do join us on this sacred journey, okay, in Nepal, okay, 2024, right, because we are very, very, I would say, looking forward to facilitate this magical journey to all of you.
It's going to happen in October from 10 to 20th, about that
Yeah.
period.
Okay.
Nepal dates, yes.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, it's so looking forward to it. We're so blessed to be here sharing this with you. Personally as well, having undergone the past 3 weeks also, it's been like amazing. It's so wonderful and wow, I think it's a good note to actually wrap this up, right? But speaking of wrapping up, so once we get back to Malaysia, it's like a busy schedule as always, especially thanks to Jolston and it's the work that he's making us do, right? And of course, if you see the active link that we shared there as well, we're very excited to really curate this new experience of the sound bath,
Yeah, on
right?
water.
Floating on a pool. So if you've not joined, if you've not signed up for it, of course, I think there's a few spots left,
I think a few
Yes, few
spots
more
left.
right? It is gone past its 60-70% of sign-ups, right? So do join us, right? That's happening on, is it the 6th or 7th?
I forgot
On the 6th of July.
Okay, 6th of July, right?
sure?
At night.
Yes, 6th
Yes.
of July at night.
Right, at a pool in the
Kinrara.
Kinrara area. Right, so the link is there, right? So if you want to sign up, please do sign up for that fast.
Okay,
Yep.
I think basically that's all.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much.
Right,
okay,
thanks
for
Leanne
always
for your
cheering
wish
for
there.
us. Yeah,
Yes,
okay, yeah.
and whoever else who's live with us, Susim, of course, thank you so much for your support and being with us energetically, right? We certainly appreciate that. Everyone else, right, who was here, Felicia, etc., Lawrence, Agnes, as always, thank you so much for joining us live and for all those sacred soul's journey, Nepal. We are all really looking forward to it, including, of course, Nicole behind the camera.
Yeah, we are all ready. Are you ready?
We'll get you ready.
Thanks, Katie.
We still have
Yep.
briefings going on. Don't forget that. Okay? All right.
All
bye-bye.
right.
Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
thanks, everyone.
Bye.